welcome back to a highly anticipated episode of the JR Takes Season 2, if I may. And you might be asking yourself, where are we right now? Where is this new episode taking place? Well, we did get a new studio set up, partnering with KLR Productions YouTube channel. We've got Kolby in the back working the production team, the audio, and we've also got Austin helping us out with some technological advancements, as I mentioned earlier.
What is happening? It's good to be here. Thanks for having me, and also we got a little live edit going on. We got close up Ryan. Say hello to the camera.
Hello.
Close up Jonah.
Hello, camera.
And then bam, wide shot.
Yeah, so Kolby, he's going to be doing all of that, and then we have him pulling up any little bits of tidbit information for us to give our 2 cents on. Yeah.
Just call me Jamie.
He's our Jamie, and we, our guests, are playing hybrid Joe Rogan over here. So
you're Joe, I'm Rogan.
Yes, exactly. So pretty much diving into things, I mentioned this is technically Season 2. We kind of made that decision because we've got a whole new setup. We kind of took a 2-month break without doing an episode. I had a lot going on. There wasn't really a lot going on in the football world, and honestly the baseball world either. The Mariners have been doing terrible. But anyway, to get on with things, the schedule of today's episode, we're going to be going over Ryan's time at minicamp. He went to training camp yesterday. Was it the first weekend of training camp yesterday?
I think it was,
yeah. First weekend of training camp. I unfortunately could not make it. I do want to get out there before training camp ends and the preseason starts, but after that, we're going to be giving our 3 Seahawks players most to improve, most intriguing, and most important. So, most to prove, not improve. And then after that, we'll be going around some news around the league. Got a little bit of Jets-Broncos drama, a little bit of Aaron running his mouth like usual, but in my opinion, in a good way. Getting his face out there in the media world again, even though he claims he doesn't want it, but we'll see.
Yeah, him in New York, it's kind of a good match just for that aspect. I don't know how it's going to work on the field.
Yeah,
probably at least pretty well, but we'll see. Anyway,
but before we get into moving on to Seahawks news, Paul Sewald on the Mariners got traded today to the Arizona Diamondbacks. I just saw the return we got for him. We got the 19th overall prospect for Arizona, which, okay. Another prospect, I think, in the 30s, and then the third baseman who hasn't hit a home run yet this year. So we'll see. I mean,
well, I've hit as many home runs as a pro baseball player. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, same here.
I call shenanigans on that.
Well, I mean,
facts are facts, Kolby.
Yeah,
stats don't lie.
I'm gonna look it up.
All right, but anyway, so Paul Sewald, he will be missed. I guess I'm kind of stoked about the young talent being brought in, but this season is kind of a wash in my opinion.
It seems just like kind of a barn burner of a season where it's like they're not terrible, but they're not going anywhere. They're just going to wither into like an 80 season or something.
When you can't go on a win streak or a losing streak, it's like you're not even like, there's not even hope for, our team's bad. We have the next season to look forward to with younger talent and higher draft picks coming in. That's not even happening. Yeah. So it's just 500 baseball all the way around, just maybe one of the most boring aspects of a sport that you could ask for. So with that being said, moving on to football.
Something brighter to talk about, yeah.
And so Ryan was at training camp, like I mentioned yesterday. Ryan, just kind of give us a rundown on how that experience went for you.
So first and foremost, comparing it to when we went last year, it was packed. It was sold out. Mm-hmm. There was still quite a few people there last year, but this year it seems like there's more expectations just, from a fan's perspective.
Naturally.
But it was the last practice before the pads go on, so I feel like there's a lot less you can really take out of what you see out there.
Sure.
But just some, snap observations I saw from what I was able to see from where I was on the field. The offense looks like it's going to be really damn good this year, especially the passing offense. Tyler got open a number of times. DK had a really nice touchdown grab. And honestly, someone who I know you're going to give me when I say this name.
Don't say DS.
Diesker's had some phenomenal plays
Here
out
we
there.
go.
And
All right.
he had a couple good balls from Drew Lock, too. I know. Make all your faces and your reactions, but I saw what I saw.
Okay, all right.
And Trey Brown, to me, was actually the standout of the day. He had a really just badass interception where he kind of manhandled Will Disley, who's like 70 pounds heavier than him, and then picked the ball off. It was really cool to see.
That's cool you mentioned that because his name is someone's name that I've heard pop up since yesterday that had a standout day at practice, and that's really good to hear coming from you and also another source, because that tells me, oh yeah, there is promise in what he's going to be trying to accomplish in our secondary this year.
He was kind of the forgotten man a little bit last year because, we drafted Kolby Bryant. Tariq Woolen comes on and is a superstar. And on top of that, he was still coming back from, I believe, a patella tendon injury, which is notorious for a long recovery. So I feel like he's been sort of forgotten, especially with the drafting of Devin Witherspoon. So I'm not sure what kind of role he's going to play, but if there's anything the Legion of Boom years taught us, it's that elite secondary depth is a pathway to the Super Bowl. So
absolutely. And another guy, before we move off from the offense, that I heard had a pretty good day, even though the pads were off, was Kenny McIntosh.
Oh yeah,
I heard he was turning some heads at the facility yesterday. So.
He had a long run, like right when the team 11-on-11 drills started, and again, no pads, but you could tell it would have been a long run in a game too. He seems to have really good vision, and his lateral cutting ability is really, really something special.
Well, and it just amazes me that we got him from Georgia. I imagine he's got to have some unique skill sets that you don't find in your average fifth round or sixth round pick, and this guy's a seventh.
And he was a receiving back too, which is way higher valued today than it was 10, 15 years ago, where it was sort of the niche role. But look at the top guys in the league, like Austin Eckler, Christian McCaffrey. They all catch the ball a ton. So,
yeah, you really it's almost like you either see sort of a downhill runner type of player in the backfield, or you get a James Cook came to mind, but he's who I think of when I think of a pass catching running back out of the backfield. But just either the skill set of running people over or catching passes and being finesse. That I'm excited to see, because we have Charbonnet, we have Ken Walker, who's kind of can do both,
right?
And then we have Kenny. So I'm excited to see what those boys can do.
And on that same note, I'm not sure if you saw this report, but both Ken Walker and Charbonnet are dealing with an injury right now.
Yeah, shoulder injury on a non-contact play? That's weird.
I'm not concerned that he's going to miss significant time because of that nature. But it is just kind of rough that, he's a rookie running back. Running backs usually pick up their stuff pretty quick. But you remember last year, Kenneth Walker missed a lot of training camp with injury. And then first couple games of the season when he gets playing time, he runs the wrong way on a handoff. And Gino is like, what the fuck? Get sacked. That's from inexperience. So I hope that doesn't happen to Charbonnet and he gets back here quickly. But all the people that are making a meme out of Pete Carroll drafted a billion running backs, look at how it's already paying off. We got a guy in McIntosh who's looking like he could be something that they got in the 7th round. So he's already proving to be valuable. And then I forgot to mention Ken Walker had a groin injury. I think it's something that if there was a game on Sunday, he'd probably still play. But they're just holding him out to do some load management, let him rest up.
Yeah, totally. So, Ryan, I wanted to ask you, we sort of had a little bit of I sort of had some fun with this, but 3 players on the Seahawks this year, most to prove.
You want to start with that one?
Yeah, we'll just most to prove, most intriguing, and then most important. And most to prove and most important, I look at like you could have a player that has proven a lot in the past. Maybe not most to prove it, like who I'm about to say is going to make sense when I say it, but maybe not like most important to the team. Yes, their success to the team is important, but maybe they haven't done so in the past when they were expected to. And my guy that I want to go, and I actually I have two, like I said. Jamal Adams is number one.
This is for most approved?
Most approved, yes. And obviously, like I said, he doesn't really have much to prove as far as what he can do. However, he hasn't been on the field for 2 seasons, and I think he has a lot to prove to the fans as well as the organization, and in the fact that do we want to keep him after this season?
Yeah.
So I'm going to go Jamal Adams with my number 1 choice there.
Okay. Mine is D. Eskridge.
He was my other choice.
Because, we're talking about a second-round pick here, a guy who was supposed to play a role in 2021 back when Russell Wilson was on the team. He has like 20 career catches. He's missed so much time with injury. It's been unfortunate, but, his speed is a factor. I could see it on the field yesterday. So I really hope he just stays healthy this season. I don't think he's going to get cut. I think he's going to make the team. But I think this is his last chance, really, to prove himself as a Seattle Seahawk this season. So he would be my number 1.
And if he can live up to what he was supposed to be as a number 4, like, wow.
Think of that 4 wide receiver set. That is tough to deal with.
Yeah, and that would just add so much ability to our other 3 guys.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they're already going to be impossible to stop. I've heard nothing but, like, top-notch, high-ceiling things from JSN, and it's been a few days of him in practice. So,
and Tyler Lockett is still looking as good as ever, and then DK is the most physically imposing receiver at the position. So we got a top-tier receiver corps, at least on paper.
Yeah, and real quick, I think Jamal Adams, like, I think he's awesome, and I'm just saying, like, if he can be what we, like, brought him in to be, we're going to be lethal on defense. We're going to stop the run. Like, having him back there, as from what I've been hearing, maybe a little bit more linebacker plays as opposed to free safety because of bringing in Love and all those guys.
Yeah, they got all sorts of versatility in the back end now because, not to mention Love, but all the cornerbacks who have starter-level talent on this team, play some in nickel, play some outside.
And the new safety we just brought in, I forget.
Jarek Reed, I want to say.
Yes.
He's had a couple splash plays. And then Witherspoon, what they've been talking about doing is moving him inside to nickel or dime in certain sets, and then having Mike Jackson as the starting outside corner for those specific formations. Mm-hmm. So they got a lot of pieces to move around. We'll see how it works out, but it's exciting.
Yeah, totally. So there you have it, Jamal Adams, D. Eskridge, 2 most guys to prove, and we think they're going to get it done. Yeah. I have faith in those guys. D. Eskridge, maybe a little less in D. Eskridge, but you know what? I think he's going to prove me wrong.
We're in optimism season, so now is the time to believe.
Yes, and most intriguing, Ryan, you want to start us off with this one?
I think this one's kind of an obvious gimme one, but for me, it's JSN, Jackson Smith and Jigba.
Okay.
He is just an absolute wild.
I got him on my fantasy, the Jigba.
I have him on Jet City.
Oh, okay.
So
little side note, Kolby and I almost made a wild trade.
What was that one again?
We were gonna do. You wanted Bryce. Kolby wanted Bryce Young. I had him at the 3, or no, 4, and Kolby had the 6th pick. He was trying to trade me JSN. I'd give him Bryce, but we couldn't make a deal. We couldn't reach an agreement.
I ended up getting the Jigba, so
you can't be mad. Can't be mad at that. And
because to finish. The point I was making about him, I think there's a chance he could lead the team in receptions this year, which I know sounds crazy for a rookie, especially historically.
Well, he doesn't drop anything, so.
I saw it with my own eyes yesterday. He caught a couple balls that I was like, oh, what are you doing, Gino? Oh, how the hell did he bring that in? Because there was a play where Witherspoon had really sticky coverage on him, and I thought it was going to be a pick when Gino let go of the ball, and JSN just high points it like inches in front of Witherspoon's hands and then shrugs him off like in one. He's just, I know people keep saying this, but he's so smooth in the way he moves and runs his routes and just operates out there. So, man, it's going to be hard to deal with him, DK, and Tyler at once.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see it, and I'm excited to see like if the hype is real as far as JSN getting open on every play. Because if that's the case, we're going to be putting up like 30 points a game.
Yeah. It will make the pressure on the defense a lot lighter, for sure.
Yeah, maybe, and who knows, maybe every game will be like the Seahawks-Lions like we had last year where it was
I'm down. That was so fun.
Something points. Yeah. But for me, I had two guys, kind of less flashy names, but, Kenny McIntosh was number one. I'm really excited to see if he can, make the team. I think he will.
Yeah, I think especially with these injuries,
and he's just like such a big personality. If you've watched a couple of interviews with him,
he's already one of my favorites on the team.
Yeah, he just wins
Kenny
over every audience that he's speaking in front of, myself included. He reminds me a lot of who was Jamal Williams.
I was about to say that.
They're both very big personalities. They're both really funny. And I'm excited to see, if he can be successful on our team because I hope he is. He seems like he deserves it. And
he's good and a good guy from the looks of it. So.
And then my next guy is going to be Derek Young, second-year receiver. And I think he just had this effect on me when we saw him last year at training camp. He just was so big. He was like as big as DK. Yeah,
he's built like a running back.
And so I just I hear nothing. I heard Kolby Bryant talking the other day about the most underrated Seahawk, and he mentioned Derek Young being that person because he gives it 110% on every play, whether it's a special teams play or not a play where he's going to be getting the ball.
Yeah, and let's not forget that guy is athletic as hell. He ran a 4.4
and he's smart as hell. He was I believe he was going to school to be an engineer.
Oh, really?
He got drafted.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
He, he brings something to the table that the other receivers don't really have because he took a lot of direct handoffs in college. So he's kind of like, almost like a Deebo Samuel type profile. And what I think he could provide for the Seahawks is sort of like the Ricardo Lockett role back in the day where he's like, top-notch special teamer, but every once in a while has an awesome big play. So I like that pick. Those are two good choices.
Yeah, I was just trying to go for the lower round draft picks because I think JSN is gonna just take.
Yeah,
off.
I couldn't help bringing up the shiny.
We had to
toy.
talk. We had to talk about it.
Yeah.
We had to spend a couple minutes on the new boy. Which, by the way, forgot to mention earlier. Devin Witherspoon. How do you feel about him finally coming out to practice?
I'm glad he is ending the stupidest 2-day holdout of all time. The rookie contracts are all structured, like they're predetermined upon being drafted now. So you're arguing over probably $5,000-$10,000 of signing bonus, not in amount, but when it's being paid to you.
That's what,
dude. You don't miss these reps.
That's what I was kind of confused about too, is because it's is it really gonna matter when you get your guaranteed money? Why it's $20 million or it's $22 million?
Yeah, and here's the thing, I'm all for these guys getting paid. Don't get me wrong, but especially when you're a top pick like that, you are making more money in this one contract than 99% of normal people are ever gonna make. So I have a hard time having too much sympathy for silly stuff like that.
Especially when you're a rookie and you haven't proven anything. I mean, I hope all the success in the world for Devin Witherspoon. But,
yeah, absolutely.
But I was like, come on, man.
It's probably, honestly, it's probably his agent.
Well, and that's fine.
Yeah.
Well, actually, no, it is. That's the problem. But, even if it's your agent, if I'm, Devin Witherspoon, I'm still going to go to the first day of training camp.
Yeah. I'm just glad it didn't last longer than 2 days. It literally got to the point where I was about to be angry with him for it. But then he showed up and I'm like, okay, cool. Now I don't care.
And it was 2 days. It's not like
Yeah.
2 days. What is that going to make or break you getting an injury or you not knowing a certain play or whatever? I don't think so.
I will say, I saw a video today of Devin Witherspoon getting torched by Tyler Lockett. Granted,
Really?
Tyler Lockett is, up there with the best of the best. He does that to a lot of guys who have been in a Pro Bowl. But yeah, Tyler absolutely just juked him out of his shoes.
I hate to admit it, but I kind of like hearing that. It's like, yeah, buddy, you weren't here for 2 days. Well, welcome to the NFL.
Yeah, it was definitely you'll see the play. I'm sure you'll see it on social media somewhere. But it was definitely a welcome to the NFL moment for Devin there. But
That's awesome.
I mean, better now in training camp when shit doesn't matter than in a game.
Yeah,
So,
and when you want to get burned like that in training camp, then like you just said, that's a learning experience right there.
Yeah.
I almost feel like I'm, aside from welcome to the NFL, I'm glad that's happening to him so he can build on that. And,
yeah.
Tyler Lockett's only going to make him better.
Yeah,
and vice
exactly.
versa.
The fact that we have such a good receiving core to go against this young secondary, I think really bodes well for their development. So.
Yeah, absolutely. And then rounding it off, third aspect of the Seahawks, the most important player this season.
You want to go first, or do you want me to go first?
I'll go first,
Okay.
and if I say who you say, I'll say my second guy.
Okay.
I got Geno Smith.
Okay, I could see that.
The reason why I chose him is because looking at last year, before the season started, I thought we were going to win 4 games max because I thought Geno was not good. And then Geno,
I didn't even think he was going to start.
and that's my point. I was like, wow, Geno was so the opposite of what my beliefs were, my preconceived notions of what I thought he was going to bring to the table, and he was amazing. He was, a top 12 quarterback, I would say, last season.
I think if you go any lower than that, you're just not being objective at that point.
Exactly. And I think if Geno plays even within range of that this year, then I think we're a playoff team, maybe even a division-winning playoff team. And so, yeah, Geno, if he can just do it again, he will also... I was having a tough time going between this and most to prove, and Geno being my choice.
He kind of
because
fits in both those categories.
He does have a lot to prove, but he's also like, if we don't have a good Geno Smith, I don't even know where we could go.
Yeah, I mean, it's the most important position in the sport, so it's never a wrong choice to put the quarterback in that category. And, he was special last year. He was the most accurate quarterback in the league. So if he can replicate or better that performance, you're right. I do think we have a chance to take the West this year.
And I have a hard time believing he's going to go take a step in the opposite direction, especially with all the additions we just
We have a
gave
way
him.
better supported cast. The line, I mean, dude, Austin Blythe, thanks for your services last year, but we have a better setter for sure. So I think, I'm not going to make these crazy predictions that Geno's going to throw for 5,500 yards or something like that. But I think you could see him put up top 10, top 5 numbers this season. And for my pick of most important, going to kind of do the same thing, but other side of the ball in Bobby Wagner.
Okay.
We don't have great linebacker depth right now, and Bobby Wagner is the one star at that position that we have. So if he goes down or if he doesn't play well this season, it's going to have a huge impact on our defense, especially with the leadership he brings and the experience. So he's my pick for most important because I think his performance can make a difference of 2 or 3 wins on the season this year.
Not only that, but I feel like a lot of people kind of look at Bobby. I mean, I've heard DK say it in plenty of interviews that him and a lot of other guys looked at Bobby as well as Russ as the big brothers of the team.
Yeah.
And I mean, yeah, Bobby plays with I don't know him, but it seems like Bobby plays with a sense of you just respect Bobby Wagner.
Also, he had a really nice pass breakup, 40 yards downfield, covering a wheel route on DJ Dallas And it was thrown by Geno too. I'm pretty sure.
Not about DJ Dallas.
That was pretty cool to see. So
Yeah.
he can still move.
Well, I remember that was one thing we were always complaining about was how slow he was.
But in this defense, they shouldn't be putting him in that position as often. Ideally, we'll see what happens. But
Right.
don't have him covering fucking Cooper Kupp, and he'll be fine.
I had an honorable mention. Draymond Jones was my second one, and we brought him in, paid him a lot of money, and he is a high-level, high-tier defensive tackle, and we need that.
Yeah.
And we've needed that.
We needed that front seven help in such a bad way.
Yeah, and especially the fact that we didn't take Jalen Carter. Draymond he's got to be the guy. And I mean, hopefully looking back, that decision of not taking Jalen Carter isn't going to absolutely, we're not going to be looking back and shooting ourselves in the foot over it. But yeah, Draymond Jones, I think he needs to be an important piece on our defensive front.
Agreed. Yeah, he's kind of the one superstar on that defensive line right now. So
yeah. But moving on off of the Seahawks, we got, to sort of wrap things up, some news around the league, a little bit of drama ensuing in the AFC between two teams that have not really been very good over the past couple seasons. But they've got a lot of new additions, maybe talks of, who knows, maybe one of them won the offseason this year. We haven't gotten there yet. But that's the Broncos and the Jets. And we've got Sean Payton saying a little bit of choice words about DJ Hackett, Nathaniel Hackett.
That's going way back.
I got Seahawks on the brain.
Yeah.
And Kolby, why don't you just go ahead and pull up a little Aaron Rodgers soundbite for us? This was Aaron yesterday.
Yeah, and I haven't seen this whole thing yet, so this will be my live reaction.
You feel bad that someone who's accomplished a lot in the league is that insecure that they have to take another man down to set themselves up for some sort of easy fall if it doesn't go well for that team this year. Thought it was way out of line and inappropriate, and I think he needs to keep my coach's names out of his mouth. It made me feel bad.
Wow.
That
He
someone
pulled a
who's
Will
accomplished
Smith.
a lot in the league-
Yeah, no kidding.
Oh yeah, he did. With the
That's yeah.
Yeah,
hence the-
that's that.
his wife is Jada Pinkett Smith.
That's funny because Nathaniel Hackett is also bald. Anyways, that sounds like Aaron. That's on brand for him. He's a very brash, outspoken guy, especially in the twilight of his career here. I think it's funny that Sean Payton said that because I think if the shoe fits, the Broncos were a fucking disaster last year, and it was really funny. But I also think it was, a little unprofessional to say that, especially to the media. It's one thing if you say it to your team. I'm all for shit talking, so I don't fault Sean Payton for it. But I think it's fair that you have Aaron Rodgers defending his coach, coming after Sean Payton. I love this stuff.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of this whole dilemma. I love the fact that I kind of like the fact that Sean Payton said what he said because it sort of, I heard this the other day and I thought it was an interesting take on it. It sort of takes off of the team and what happened last year and puts all the blame on the guy that's not there anymore and Nathaniel Hackett. And it also puts Sean Payton in the limelight where he's
He's the
already
the savior.
He's already doing the dirty work and getting the blood on his hands for his guys.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's kind of awesome. But also I think Aaron's response is great because he's like, well, I'm going to do that too. And don't talk about my coach like that. And I also love that he said it's like setting him up for some weird, if they were to fall scenario, because it is putting the blame already on someone else before you've even started.
Yeah, I like that he called him insecure too.
Yeah. It's Aaron's not a dummy. He's
a lot of things, but he's an intelligent man for sure.
Yeah.
What's the general people thinking how the Jets are gonna be this next year?
I think they're very hyped.
Yeah.
They're on Hard Knocks.
They're getting like Super Bowl picks and betting and stuff like that. I think that's ridiculous. I think they still got a ways to go.
Because no, you're a bit, well, not a big Aaron Rodgers fan, Jonah, but you think that he's going to perform well this coming season?
Time will tell. I think so, though. I think
He's just saying this because he's on his fantasy.
Him taking the pay whoa. Him taking the pay cut. That's
he took a pay cut.
Yes. Yeah. Well, like 2 days ago, I think it was all over the media. But Tom Brady did the same thing. Maybe he's trying to follow in the GOAT's footsteps, so to speak, and win a couple titles.
Well, on that note,
past the age
too,
of 40.
when you have as much money as a like top tier quarterback that's played for like more than 15 years, what does money even mean to you anymore? Like you couldn't even spend it before you died if you tried, unless you were like monumentally stupid. So like, I don't know. If I'm them, I'm taking a little less money for better players. Like fuck it.
Yeah, totally. I couldn't agree with you more, and that's kind of why I think the Jets are going to make it pretty deep in this year.
I just think the AFC's too loaded. I think they're going to be a good team, but I don't know. I'm just a hater also. So.
Well, I got Jets winning the AFC East.
Over the Bills?
Yeah, me and Jeremy made a $20 bet the other day on Saturday. Okay. So.
Well, I don't got the Pats.
I'm a Jets fan this year. What can I say?
I don't like you this year.
Did you say you got the Pats?
I said I don't got the Pats.
Well, you kind of have to root for them because you got Mac Jones.
Yeah.
Does the audience know about the history of Ryan and Mac Jones' relationship?
No, and they're not going to know. Let's move on.
All right.
What's the next topic?
Well, I'll put it in subtitles.
Wait, hang on. Let's talk more about this.
All right. Well,
I'm pulling the XLR cable out.
But yeah, that's pretty much all I got for today's episode. We'll probably try to be doing this every Monday if possible. We'll talk to Kolby. We'll talk to Austin, see if they can make that a part of their weekly routine. But this is something moving forward that is going to be the norm, man.
Yeah.
Here in the KLR facility.
Hope you guys like the new setup. I'm stoked about it. I feel like more professional than we have any right to be doing this. But I mean, I think it's going to really help our product, and the time gaps between episodes are going to be a lot shorter than between this one and the previous one. So
because we're going to see how this looks, but it's should be like ready to go right after this.
And we also, off of what Kolby just mentioned, if we do this enough and get good enough, we'll be able to live stream this. And then you could tune in at a certain time every week.
Yeah, and we could even, like, if people are watching, we could, like, respond to their chats and stuff like that. So
cool.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, because like they can comment.
Yeah,
and everything.
exactly.
So, sky's the limit.
So that's because when I see like sports radio, they like take.
Maybe we'll get a phone line.
Yeah. Maybe we'll have guests.
Call my cell phone.
Alrighty. Well, you got anything else, Jonah?
Nope, other than go Hawks, and we'll see you guys next time, huh?
Yeah. Thanks for listening.